morning and welcome to another edition of the Auditing Insanity Newscast brought to you by Really Cool News. I'm Jim Finch and I'll be your host for a single story on Cerio, a look at the GoFundMe market, and a look at the absolutely insane day it was a year ago today. Hint, think multiple massive losses for Jose Chile DeCastro and those related to him, plus his expressed desire for all-out war on the police. Yeah, we're gonna go there because he went there a year ago. Stay tuned, fellow kids. It's about to get funky as we dive into GoFundMe. Craig Hendry, who takes day? Craig Hendry, who? That guy in Indiana with a criminal history a mile long who used to look like David Koresh until he cut his hair and now looks like your grandpa's social studies teacher from 1987 who won the GoFundMe title for Saturday. I can't explain it either. I was dreaming of a Star Wars version of the Dukes of Hazzard. A Star Destroyer was shooting at Luke's landspeeder with Luke, Uncle Jesse, and the droids in it, and a deputy was telling a story how he single-handedly captured Princess Daisy Dukes until Boss Vader came along and hit him with his helmet for being an idiot, as Boss Vader was the one who caught the princess. On the ground, on the desert planet of Tattoo not filmed in Georgia, Ween, the speeder was chased into a community who was alerted to incoming Imperial berries and cherries and managed to slam down the gate as soon as Luke came through. Luke did a last-second drop-off of the droids and Uncle Ben before he crashed the speeder into the electrical grid, sealing the community under a force dome that the Imperials couldn't get through. And before that, I had a dream that Mob Boss the Turtle, a boyish-looking little man who ran the suburbs of 1930s Boston, had his fleet of 1930s-style cars, terrorizing neighborhoods looking to protest on front lawns in support of getting mobster Carrie No Brakes off of charges of backing over a school bus because they were in the way. I was tied up in the trunk of one of his giant stretch day-to-day cars, measuring the length of 10 full-sized turtle boys, and his goons were going to be fitting me with some cement shoes for not reporting the way he wanted me to report on the Carrie No Brakes case. Things were pretty dire as they lifted me out of the trunk and I could see the mixers spinning up to pour the concrete. There was no way good old Jimmy Fingers, reporter of Fluff, would get out of this one, and either dream would have been preferable to this reality. It's 4:20 a.m. on a Sunday morning. There is no news. I can't even do filler with 1 year ago today without finding the old Word files and putting up those news stories to give the article something to point to. If Press with Rancor had come to take me to the fairies, they obviously rejected me because even a fey baby wouldn't accept this position, even if it meant living among the humans. I mean, what the hell, people? Who gives Craig Hendry money? It had been 3 months since his last donation. He doesn't even use his own picture on the campaign. It was some random evil cop. And certainly it's not worth throwing your money away on a man who thinks Illinois law applies in Indiana. My head, my heart, my goodness, this is not the way to start a new week. On that note, if you ever thought about donating to GoFundMe, we could use donations this week, as we're about to make a big purchase to keep the peace in the next 6 months with permission from a donor. Dementia patient, TV. No, you haven't lived in Seattle in 38 years, Pop, but yes, the Seahawks are going to be on your TV, so settle down, please. We do have a GoFundMe of our own. All proceeds go to keeping the lights on, eating, and writing new stories to feature here and on ReallyCoolSite.org. What the hell, people? Tella Cline shares Cerio lawsuit details. YouTuber Tella Cline shared on Saturday an extensive look into auditor and YouTuber Cerio's 8 pending small claims court cases against Mukilteo and Everett, Washington police officers, an Everett crime scene analyst, and Cline herself, set for hearings in August and September. All of the lawsuits against the police were featured in videos of Cerio questionably serving the participants at their perceived places of work. Cerio's father, Cerio Sr., yes, there are 2 of them, acted as his process server and served whomever showed up to talk to him about the lawsuit, regardless of their identity or ability to legally accept the documents. Again, all of the videos claim that Cerio was serving lawsuits of $50 million and $100 million when in fact, Cerio was serving small claims court lawsuits with a possible award of $10,000. In at least one of the videos, he claimed that he was going through small claims court first and then would serve the participants with federal civil rights lawsuits later. Cerio may run into problems as due to Washington state's qualified immunity laws, 6 of the participants, all police officers, have qualified immunity and cannot be sued for their actions. 3 of his police-related lawsuits are from an incident where he was arrested at a Mukilteo police station on January 14, 2022. He has added a specific charge against Officer Danielle Ball of accepting bribery gifts as she was sent a gift basket by YouTubers as an apology on behalf of the YouTubers for Cerio's behavior. Cerio equated that as a bribe that led to his arrest. In the second group of police lawsuits, Cerio was briefly detained in Everett as a shoplifting suspect. He claims he did not match the description of the suspect. He was never charged in the case. That was the incident where he claimed he was injured and needed to be escorted to the hospital via ambulance for the injuries he claimed that were the fault of the officers on the scene, yet none were observed on his video. In the case of Everett criminal analyst Erica Bennett, a civilian and not officially a police officer, Cerio is suing for her producing a bulletin about him, which was part of her duties with the police force, that contained his social security number and driver's license number. She may receive protection as she was acting in the course of her duties, despite Cerio's claim otherwise. Tella Cline's case is strange as Cerio is suing her for sharing an unredacted document that he had originally put on his own YouTube channel. That unredacted document was Bennett's bulletin, which was clearly featured in Cerio's video. From our understanding, she simply used part of his video that contained unredacted information. Since he had released the information, later to have it taken down for violating YouTube's privacy rules, sharing the video is not a crime. In all cases, Cerio is demanding $10,000 for loss of wages. Cerio does not list an employer or proof of time lost at a regular job. All of the hearings are expected to be held as Zoom calls with limited public access. Cline shared that the hearings against the various defendants are set for August 6th, August 20th, August 24th, and September 27th, 2024, and all are preliminary mediation hearings. In the past, Cerio has had 3 lawsuits against Everett, Washington dismissed at the mediation hearings, and Cline said she is fully expecting all of the cases not to go to trial. This day in history, DeCastro calls for war on police. On this day in history, Jose Chile DeCastro expressed his desire for harm to come to police and called for tensions between the public and police to escalate to full-scale war on the police before quickly backtracking from his comments. DeCastro was watching a video featuring a negative interaction between police and a suspect when he said, "I hope it escalates. I'm not going to start it. I hope it escalates. I hope we go to war against these pigs. I really do. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of pigs. I'm sick of it. I'm not going to start any wars, but I'd certainly watch one, that's for sure. I certainly would love to see it happen, and every one of you pigs would be mowed down. You wouldn't have no chance. Zero. They keep abusing us." After reflecting on the boldness of his statements, DeCastro would backtrack, saying, "I was really pissed. I'm pissed. I need to go to sleep. I don't hope we go to war. I just was fired up. I don't want to see anybody die. I don't want to be part of death. I don't want that in my life. You know what I mean? Guys who go to war, and I've known a couple of them in my lifetime. A couple came back from a small town. Guys who went to war and saw action, they come back and they have a different look in their eyes. So I don't want to see people die. I don't. I just get pissed off. But the cops are lucky we don't turn on them. I wouldn't because I don't want to kill people. I don't want to shoot people. I don't even want to punch people. So, I get mad sometimes. I got an ego. Okay, I'll get the flock out of here. Thanks for coming. See you on the next one. Later, Gators. DeCastro may have also been upset that his Ironton, Ohio-based federal civil rights lawsuit had been dismissed, as the judge threw out claims against defendants Major Chapman, Jane Doe, and Lawrence County, Ohio, for failure to state a claim, and granted the motion for judgment by the remaining defendants. DeCastro would attempt to reopen the case with a demand for a third amended complaint based on new evidence involving YouTube's atomic clocks, then appeal the case, which drug out until it was dismissed earlier this year. In DeCastro-related news, Heather Dollahide, wife to then recently jailed YouTuber and DeCastro associate Jason Dollahide, had the couple's daughter taken from her by Child Protection Services after she refused to cooperate with the CPS investigator. Heather Dollahide explained that she would not let the investigator, a man, into the house to investigate or cooperate with his investigation as he was a stranger. DeCastro promised to fundraise for a $50,000 lawyer on the Dollahide family's behalf to represent them at a custody hearing the following Friday. DeCastro had instructed Heather Dollahide to take her daughter to a safe place where police could not find her. She was apparently in the process of doing this when CPS agents and police arrived at her house to take custody of her daughter. In the calls between Dollahide and DeCastro, it was revealed that Heather Dollahide lost custody of and had 3 children from another relationship put into foster care in the past. She had limited visitation rights to see her 3 children. DeCastro instructed Dollahide that her phone was now compromised and that she needed to buy a burner phone as police were listening to their calls. He then pledged that he was coming for police with his legal team to file lawsuits on behalf of the Dollahides. The YouTuber never followed up and filed the lawsuits, nor crowdfunded for the expensive attorney on behalf of Heather Dollahide. Dollahide's daughter remains in foster care with a family member, as Heather Dollahide is currently in the custody of the state of Oklahoma in a drug treatment facility. You can read all of these stories featured in this segment on our website at ReallyCoolSite.org. If I'm subjecting you to Corey Feldman's song lyrics, you know something is bothering me, or I'm just failing at life at the moment. I'm just tired. I suspended lives until we get the website back up and running, but I probably needed the lives more than I needed to come to terms with loss and grief and starting over. The site has been my life for the past couple of years, and during many dark times, I've had the legacy of 20-plus years of memories to reflect on with something to show for my efforts. Of course, this showed that it could be wiped in the blink of an eye and no one would notice, but yeah, isn't that life? Isn't that we all end up coming to terms with at some point? So yeah, enough moaning, I am fucking tired and we're going to get through this. Say what you want about Gen X, we don't know how to quit and we always come up with something new. In my case, it's the same old, same old. I'll be releasing a day or 2 of old articles on the website until we get caught up. I'll probably take a good part of the next year to do it, and that depresses the hell out of me. But, I mean, what am I gonna do? One step at a time. Also making it official, come the new NFL football season, we won't be having lives on the days the Seahawks are playing. I'll still put out the newscast, but I'm about to expend a donor's money on the NFL Sunday ticket package to help keep my dad, who suffers from dementia, in line, so I'm damn well going to enjoy games again, even if it's a rebuilding year. I may be broke for the rest of summer, or until that first $53 check from YouTube comes in at some point, but I damn well will survive. Also, thank you all for providing the means to survive. I can't say any more or less than you've all been brilliant in your support. We're 53 people away from level 1 monetization. We'll get there eventually, with level 2 by the end of the year. That's the goal and why we'll keep on keeping on. And on that note, I'm going to search for some real news.